Viking adventure. The children were having breakfast. William and Wendy came round to go to school together with the beef and chip. Kipper told everyone about his adventure at the teddy bear's picnic. However, nobody believed him. "I don't believe it," said the beef. "I don't believe it either. You must be dreaming," said the chip. Beef, Chip, and William were in Mr. Johnson's class. They were having a history lesson. The children liked Mr. Johnson. They did not like studying history, but Mr. Johnson made everything interesting. He told the children a lot of good stories. Mr. Johnson held up a model ship. "Do you know what kind of a ship this is?" he asked. William put up his hand. "It's a Viking ship," he said. "I read about it in a storybook." "Well done, William," said Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson showed the children a picture of a Viking ship. "This is a Viking longship," he said. "There are oars on both sides and a sail in the middle. It can move very fast through the water." "The ship is so long," said William. "No wonder it's called a longship." The children laughed. "The people who rowed the Viking longship are called the Vikings," said Mr. Johnson. "The Vikings lived a long time ago. They crossed the sea in the Viking longships." Mr. Johnson showed the children a Viking helmet and a Viking shield. Many Vikings were soldiers. They always wore a helmet and had the shields with them. Mr. Johnson asked the children to do a Viking project. It was very interesting. They made model longships and they made Viking shields and helmets. "Look at my shield," said William. Mr. Johnson took the children to the school hall. They made a big longship. Then they all dressed up as a Viking and pretended to row it. "The oar is heavy," said the beef. "The Vikings worked hard and they were strong," said Mr. Jones. The children came home from school. They looked at the magic key. They wanted to glow because it had not glowed for a long time. Kipper told them about his magic adventure again. However, nobody believed him. "You are just dreaming," said William, laughing. Kipper was upset. "The magic key really glowed in the night," he said. "It glowed when it was dark. It did. Biff looked at Kipper. Then he looked at Biff. "Maybe," she said. Biff had a good idea. "Maybe the key will glow in the dark," she said. "It's too bright in here." She got a torch and then she found a big, thick blanket. "Come on," said Biff. The children sat on the floor and they pulled the blanket over themselves. It was dark under the blanket. Suddenly, the key began to glow. The magic was working after all. "I told you the key would glow in the dark," said Kipper. There was no wind. The Vikings were rowing the longship across the sea. Every man pulled on the oars. They worked hard. Suddenly, the wind began to blow. "Hooray!" said the Vikings. "Now we can put up the sail. The wind can blow the ship along and we won't have to work so hard." "Wonderful," said another Viking. "I need a rest." One of the Vikings heard a noise. He went to take a look. He found the children under the sea. "Oh no," said William. "We are on a Viking longship. I don't believe it." The Viking jumped back. He could not believe it either. The Viking looked angry. "Oh no," said the keeper. "It doesn't look pleasant to see us." "How did you get on our ship?" asked the Viking. The children did not know how to explain. The Viking pushed the children to the back of the longship. "Look at all these animals," said the keeper. "I don't like it here, it smells bad." "I don't like it either," said Biff. The wind began to blow harder. The Viking put up the sail. The wind blew harder and the ship went up and down. The waves splashed over the children. They got wet and cold. "It's not much fun on a long ship," said the chief. "I feel sick," said the keeper. At last the long ship landed near the shore. "Hooray!" shouted the Vikings. They jumped into the water and carried the boxes and barrels to the shores. The barrels were full of food and the boxes were full of treasures. The children looked over the side of the longship. "I hope we don't have to jump in," said Biff. "The water looks cold." "I'm still feeling sick," said the keeper. "You don't have to jump in," said the Viking. "I will throw you in." The Viking pushed the children over the longship. Splash! The children waded to the shore. The villagers were surprised. They had never seen children like them before. "Where are your helmets and shields?" asked one of the villagers. Keeper has some sweets. He shared them with the Viking children. They had never seen sweets before. They did not know what to do with them. "Put it in your mouth. It's sweet and tasty," said Keeper. The Vikings took the children into a long hall. A fire was burning in the middle. There was smoke everywhere. "Mom and Dad are preparing dinner," said the Viking children. The children dried themselves near the fire. It began to get dark and soon it was time for dinner. "So this is what Vikings eat," said William. The villagers gave Biff, Chip, and Keeper some bread and meat. As soon as it was dark, another longship sailed close to the shore. On the longship were the Vikings' enemies. They were going to attack the village. "Help! Help!" someone from outside shouted. One of the villagers saw the longship and ran into the long hall. "Our enemies are coming!" he shouted. "What are we going to do?" The enemy Vikings from the longship looked very angry. They ran towards the village. "They are going to attack," said William. "What can we do?" "I wish the magic key would glow," said the keeper. Biff had an idea. She turned on a torch. It shone brightly. The Vikings and the villagers had never seen a light like this before. They were frightened and they all fell to the ground. "The bright light is killing us," shouted the Vikings and the villagers. The enemy Vikings ran back to their longship and sailed away quickly. "Hooray!" said the villagers. "They won't come back here soon." The villagers were thankful. They looked at Biff's torch. "This is a magic thing," they said. "It frightened us, but it frightened our enemies even more. Thanks for saving our village." The villagers lit a big fire on the beach. They had a party for the children. They gave Biff a shield. "Thank you," said Biff. "It's beautiful." Biff wanted to give the torch to the villager, but William told her not to. The magic key began to glow. It was time for the adventure to end. "We have to go now," said the children. "Thank you for the party." The next day, Biff showed the Viking shield to Mr. Johnson. "It's very good," said Mr. Johnson, "but Viking shields didn't look like this." Biff looked at William and smiled.